All right, today is the one-year anniversary of Junior Seau's death, as I'm sure you know by now, right? I mean, we've been talking about it all week. It's been published in the newspaper literally every day. Junior's really good friend and former teammate Billy Ray Smith is here. Now everybody knows Billy Ray, and everybody here in particular knows Billy Ray because Billy Ray helped us start UTTV because, you know, like a year ago when we were unemployed and we were desperate for a job, UTTV saved us. And then, of course, we went back to the radio, and Billy Ray's like, I'm going back to the radio, and I'm sleeping in until this morning.
That's right.
Until we woke him up.
You got me up out of bed.
How
you doing, man? I'm good, man.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good.
Look good. That's a nice shirt.
Well, you know, I'm feeling like a little sort of dark yet funky today.
Dark and funky.
Yeah.
That's a good mixture. I like that. I'm a little more light and funky.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Right.
Billy Ray, a year ago when this happened, we had not yet gotten onto UTTV. But there is a radio studio here at the UT, and I remember you and I going in there and doing an online broadcast, and a lot of radio listeners and Charger fans listening in on that, and so, you know, former teammates and stuff. I'm just wondering, a year later, anything changed? I mean,
you know, not really. It really hasn't. It hasn't started to fade yet. I'm still incredibly sad at the loss of a former teammate and friend of mine. Junior Seau was. I mean, he was an exaggeration on almost every level. And you want to talk about an exaggerated football player, the guy that got out there with all the emotion and all the air punching, you know, and all the great plays that he made on the field. Same way in the locker room. He was so exaggerated. He was so vocal, and he wanted to lead his team, and he wanted his team to win. And as a friend, he was a fantastic friend. And so it's just that loss, that hole that we all feel that knew Junior.
Isn't it hard to believe? I mean, as you think back, because I thought it was really interesting what you said yesterday on the radio. You said it still bothers you that you didn't do more after his car wreck.
Right.
And yet, he convinced everybody after that it was just as simple as him falling asleep and it was no big deal. I mean, are you surprised he was able to be that good of an actor and hide the pain so much?
Well, you know what? I think that's Junior. I think it was always, you know, Junior being able to do anything he wanted to do, and really without a whole lot of help from anybody else. I mean, it was basically kind of Junior, and so I can see him putting people's fears at ease by telling them something like that.
Well, the pressure that he must have felt, living in Oceanside, being from Oceanside, being a provider to not just his family, but to a community, right?
Right.
You know, and then to have all of the problems that we didn't know about back then. You know, the gambling-related debt, the failed businesses, the drinking, the womanizing, etc. I mean, nobody really knew that it was a problem. They just thought it was...
Well, because every time you walked into a room with Junior, you get the smile. You get the hey buddy, you get the hug, and everything was all right. I mean, there was really, and you know, maybe I'm saying this to kind of avoid any kind of finger pointing, but there was no sign, as far as I could see, that Junior was this close to ending his own life, which is the tragic part of it.
We've been asking the question all week. We've been asking this week, is the NFL really to blame? When you start building the picture, you know, divorced, not active with the children in their lives, again, a massive amount of gambling-related debt that he couldn't pay back, people that were still depending on him to cover for them. All of these things had gone wrong. Here's the question. If that were the circumstances that a normal person were in, we'd all go, yeah, I get it. I mean, but we're all blaming football. What do you think?
Well, I think that the saddest part of it is, like almost every suicide, we're never going to know, because that person that committed that act is not here to answer for himself. And that's really the saddest thing about it, is that we're never going to really know what it was that pushed him over the edge.
Let me show you a clip of last year at Junior's memorial service at Qualcomm Stadium where he spoke. Go ahead and run that, guys.
And then they pitched the ball to the wide receiver going the other way. And I'd already felt Junior go this way. So I said, oh, I have a chance on this one. I can go back this way. Maybe I'll get me a tackle here. I started to close in on the wide receiver that was carried the ball. And then I felt it again.
You got to be kidding me. Wait a second. We're going to toss sweep this way. He's going to pass me. Going to go this way. He's going to do it again. I'm slow, but I'm not that slow. You all understand this.
Billy Ray, you spoke at Junior's Memorial. Got to take down the audio for a second, guys. I just want you to, for a minute here, just the player. We're talking about what caused this, why, you know, what the problems were. But just as a football player, as a teammate, as a guy, you know, he was there. I mean, I don't want to say to replace you, but I mean, you were at that point older in your career. He's the new young guy on the block. Same pick, 5th overall, 83, 91. Just the football player and being on the field with the guy.
Yeah, understanding that Junior was moved inside to the weak inside linebacker, right, as opposed to being an outside linebacker like a Lawrence Taylor. You would think that it would make him less effective, but that wasn't the case. Junior Seau was probably the greatest instinctive football player in the history of the National Football League. And there were times where Junior saw something, heard something, felt something, whatever it was, that led him to do what he did on the field, but it always basically turned up as a positive effect on the San Diego Charger defense, and that's why he is what he is. He's a legend. He's legendary. He's fantastic.
A legend in Oceanside, a legend of the San Diego Chargers, a legend of this community, and a guy who hopefully will not have died in vain, because so many studies and people will have awareness, in particular when they're really facing major struggles. Thanks, brother.